We're back with another crowd control. We're going to be talking about 4 campaigns this week, 3 that are launching. And 1 that's already running. I'm going to kick things off with Deep Regrets. Deep Regrets, if you haven't taken a look at this one kind of took me by surprise.
Yeah.
This one's actually also running too, so 2 and 2.
Oh, I guess that did just start, yeah.
2 and 2 rather, but Deep Regrets is from people who made Abominable Creatures, I think, or Horrible Creatures.
Horrible Creatures.
Horrible. It's crazy art. If you're familiar with like not Garbage Pail, but somewhere between Garbage Pail Kids art.
Like Toxic Avenger?
A little bit like that. A little bit like Regular Show.
Sure.
The artwork has that vibe to it. But anyway, Deep Regrets is also, if you ask me, themed very much. It's kind of like an unofficial version of Dredge.
Oh, yeah.
The video game.
Yeah.
Because you're fishing. You've got a little boat.
Game.
You're out there fishing. You're catching all sorts of what start to look like creepy fish, but then also Cthulhu. Like, so it's also like an Elder God sort of situation. This looks to be a little bit maybe of a push your luck type thing going on, but the look of this thing, I saw this advertised in one of my feeds, and I didn't know anything about it until I saw that advertisement, so I went and took it.
It works. Advertising works.
Well, that one did because the game looked appealing to me.
Sure.
There's plenty of games that get advertised that I never even blink at. But I took a look at this one. It looks pretty cool. We don't have a copy of it. We haven't been able to do any content, but I do think we're going to try to reach out. I would like to get a hold of this and at least get it tried for sure.
Well, yeah,
but I might find myself backing this one. I'm not sure.
It looks great. I'm talking about one that takes you to the sea as well. Deeper into the sea. This is Sirens The Deep Sea. This is one of those beasts of a campaign-style game. Although it's not really a campaign in that you don't play through multiples, you choose a scenario or you choose a sandbox free play. And then from that point, it becomes like a cooperative 4X. They're not using that term. I'm using that term because that's how I can try to describe it. There's a little bit of like base building, there's upgrading, there's resource management, there's exploration. You're going underwater with your team to complete whatever the scenario is, but along the way you are having to kind of like expand out. You're kind of upgrading your own little tech tree with upgrades on your player board, giving you some asymmetric powers that you're going to use to fight underwater monsters, hunt those monsters, get more resources, and things like that as you're kind of trying to interact with the narrative of what's going on in that particular scenario.
Yeah, it is
cool.
It's a fairly significant game. We had a chance to we took a look at the rule book for this one a couple weeks ago, and it's everything that Ryan said and maybe more. It is a big game for sure. Definitely a heavier weight style game than Deep Regrets.
Well, sure, but again, another one with a really cool look to it. Like it really nails the underwater.
Totally different than Deep Regrets.
Totally different style, but like everything looks like it's underwater. And all the minis look awesome. Like it feels. It just feels very thematic. And even their Kickstarter page, this is a nice little touch. All their videos, it's like a little mermaid interacting with the different pieces, which is...
Is that GameFound or Kickstarter?
I don't remember.
We don't know. Crowdfunding.
Crowdfunding, sorry. I think it might be GameFound, actually.
The next one is, oftentimes on crowdfunding or crowd control, we want to focus on smaller publishers. There's a little publisher called CMON that is
this
doing
is not that case.
What is likely to be a very tiny campaign. I'm kidding. DC United, DC Superheroes United launches this week. We've had some content up on the channel, as you might know. Go take a look at that. We have sort of a full reveal of the game talking about it. We also have a complete and full playthrough of the game, so definitely go take a look at that. This is the United series with DC. Some of the things, as of recording this, that they've announced more than what we've covered is there is a Teen Titans box now that's included.
Of course.
I want to say, don't hold me to this, but I think the Teen Titans thing might be a crowdfunding exclusive. Like, I don't think it's going to be necessarily available after the fact. And the Teen Titans box includes, interestingly, not Cyborg, because Cyborg is in the base game. He's part of the Justice League. But if you're fans of like the Teen Titans cartoon, you might be thinking, wait, where's Cyborg? He's already in the game. Don't worry about it. But it has Robin, Beast Boy, Raven, and Starfire.
That's a good box.
It is a good box, and it looks to have a fairly significant Trigon miniature. And miniature, I use the term loosely. I think they did a video showing some of the stuff, and they held like the Robin miniature next to the Trigon miniature. And the Trigon miniature was the kind of thing where you held the base in the palm of your hand, and it looked like to be about this big.
I like that they're doing that.
Yeah, it looks really cool. But yeah, they're gonna, and obviously that is probably just the tip of the iceberg.
Sure. Call me when there's Batman Beyond. That's
It's interesting you mentioned that. I saw a video the other day. I can't remember the channel, but they were listing their top 5 dream boxes that will be part of the scenario, and it made me think, oh my gosh. Like, with Marvel, the sky was the limit too. But this one, I was just like, oh, that's right. Oh, there could be all these things like Arkham Asylum.
There's only 2 things I love in DC. I'm not the biggest DC fan, and I'm a Marvel guy, but give me Batman and Green Lantern. If there's like a Green Lantern core box,
has to be a Green Lantern.
all the different color boxes. Oh my gosh, I would back just for those boxes.
Oh my gosh.
See?
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting campaign, and I was kidding off the top. It is going to be probably a massive campaign for CMON.
Yeah, and we have one more I want to talk about, and this is actually an expansion. This is Zoo Tycoon New Shores. This is another huge game. If you didn't pay attention to Zoo Tycoon back when it first ran on crowdfunding, it got a just huge response. Like that game made so much money. This is like a full simulation game. So it's not so much Ark Nova where it's card play. This is literally physically building a zoo on your player board, adding these different enclosure tiles, and then adding meeples into those enclosures. And with New Shores, I think it's like 460 meeples they have now.
Lots of meeples.
It's like 40 new species. And these new species in New Shores, water, you can kind of imagine. There's also polar, and then like reptiles. And there's like a vivarium now that you can like put on your board as well and put reptiles in there. It comes with a ton of new content, a ton of new boards, a ton of new cards that can be mixed and matched with the old content to kind of create your board of what animals you're going to be playing with that game. And then of course like all of the meeples. I mean that's a crazy number of meeples that they can boast, having
it's
like
a lot.
400
Is this
something
a standalone
meeples.
product?
No, this is not a standalone. This does require pieces from the base
so it's
game.
an expansion for that.
It is an expansion, New Shores, but it does, like I said, it features some new biomes with some new cards that focus on those new biomes. Animals that you'll find, I think they said tundra, polar, water, I don't remember exactly. But if you love Zoo Tycoon and you like more of the simulation style of games, this is definitely going to be up your alley.
Yeah, I imagine they're going to have the works too on the campaign where you can get everything.
Yes, this is also, there's going to be a big box to store it all.
Oh.
And if you don't have the base game, they're also doing like a 2nd edition tweaked version of the base game. They've taken what they've kind of learned, and now you can get that 2nd edition. I don't know what that looks like if you already backed.
Maybe
the
there's
first
like
edition.
a 2nd edition upgrade.
There might be.
That.
That's a good point. There might be. I'd have to look.
Big question is, are they meeples or are they animeeples?
Well, they're animeeples. They call them.
do they?
They're like animal meeples.
Yeah, no, I figured.
Yeah, there's a ton of them. They're really, really well done meeples too.
So those are the 4 campaigns we wanted to talk about this week. If there are any campaigns out there that we've missed, that have been running, that are about to run, let us know in the comments below. We'll get down there and answer and talk to you about all of it. Until next time, make sure everyone has fun at the table, and we'll see you then.